Dave Butcher, and this is my lovely wife,
Amo Butcher.
We are, I guess, just at the end of a big renovation project on our house with CLX. We met Lex, and
after a few people coming round to have a little look, and the builders, we got the quotes in. Lex walked in and actually was a breath of fresh air, wasn't he? He was so excited about the drawings, the pictures. He was almost bouncing from one foot to another saying, do not change your plans, let's get this working, because it is just such a nice plan.
Rather than, I think the other builders who came were quite negative. They were looking at it and going, ooh, that's going to be expensive, that's going to be tricky. Lex was excited, this is going to be amazing.
So actually it was his enthusiasm that won him over, really, won us over.
Throughout the whole process, actually, I'd say he was more like a partner than a contractor. He felt like he was building his own house in terms of how excited he was, the things he wanted to do.
And the love and the care that he put into it. He understood that when we bought the house, it was one careful owner who'd never ever updated it, really. So we wanted to keep that 1970s style in keeping with the rest of the street as well. So when we first came to the house, we had the black cladding on there, but we've since ripped that all off and put some new on there. There was a porch which was almost falling down at the front, which we've now changed into a corner a bit for our daughter to be able to sit inside and actually look at the weather and figure out if she wants to wear a coat or not that day. And just a nice little entrance way to it. There originally was a carport on the side, which wasn't really fit for purpose because the cars nowadays are a little bit bigger, and we couldn't quite get our car in. And everybody on the street, even the postman, used to know to come down to the kitchen rather than the front door, so that it was just a bit surplus to requirements, the front door. So we've moved the front to the side, and come on in. We wanted little quiet areas where we could perhaps take a book and sit down and read, or get the cat and just give it a stroke in the corner. So he built in quite a lot of little spaces for us, which don't feel tight and closed off, actually quite airy and open.
But certainly Lex is the person who had the vision from piece of paper, drawing to, right, this corner, let's have it fully glazed, we'll have a steel post supporting it so you can keep it as open as possible.
This brilliant bit that Lex actually built for us, sort of customised it as we went along. It wasn't in the original design, but because we had some awkward piping at the top, and we had some old gas pipes which would cost a lot of money to get capped off and moved and everything, actually Lex suggested that we build something around it, and it was good enough to spend a good couple of days on the carpentry, and I absolutely love this space here, which is a beautiful opening into what we're going to call the plant room. It's got all the green technology in it, all the tanks, and it's going to have my washing machine and things in, but actually a really nice entrance to it.
Yeah, and the other thing this little area does is it just shields your eye from the kitchen. So whilst we have this massive open space here, it's got enough corners and reveals that it's not so open.
One of the rooms that we kept pretty straight with the same with the 1970s kind of feel was just our front room. There wasn't a lot that needed to be done there. One thing that we did want to retain was that some of that open feel, which was quite hard to do because we've actually changed our staircase around, and the previous one had a look through all the way, which was great, but not so good in terms of keeping the heat in or keeping the sound down. And we're hoping that room will become like a sort of a cinema chill out family room. And we managed to repurpose some of the glazing.
Well, yeah, Lex did that for us.
Actually, that's a good
piece of
point.
glass that we weren't able to use in the end, but we'd ordered. We were going to try and sell it, but actually we had the idea to put it in, and Lex was straight away happy to, and
accommodated our change of plan.
Now I can't imagine not having that. We're able to keep our original 1970s features wall.
Oh, I love this wall.
Thanks to a clever bit from Naya, we have a pad stone up here supporting some steel, which would have ruined the look of this, but Naya was able to put some concrete render in, and we've painted it white now, but it really adds to it actually. We might paint that black again.
Moving through, we've got still the old footprint of the house, so you can kind of get an idea of how small it actually was. This is the external wall. This would have been the kitchen area. We could have potentially just knocked through into the dining area, but we felt that that wasn't enough, given that it was so open plan. You would have lost the whole of downstairs to that. So I quite like the idea that we've got our closed off space and we actually came out into the vast garden which we've got.
We used to call it a sorry kitchen.
Oh, sorry kitchen.
Every time we'd be in there, you'd be bumping into each other and saying sorry.
Yeah.
The other thing about the old house, which it wasn't that small, it was nice, but it was quite dark. We've got other buildings that sort of extend further back and block the sun and cast a shadow. Whereas now, what we've managed to do with this large this large sliding door and skylight is to bring a lot more light into the house, a lot more light into the area.
We quite like dining together. It's one thing that as a family we've done, especially through the pandemic and learning a bit more about each other, wanting to sit round a table, and it just was too pokey in the dining hall, the dining room, and it was really dark as well. So, and we wanted to enjoy the garden. So these sliders were your idea, and it's this idea of getting like this big picture frame of being able to look outside and getting a full view. With that, we put a skylight in as well, which is at the moment covered up, but it just casts quite a lot of light through. So we love how bright and airy this is.
We already had in mind having a corner here in which you get some more natural light and a nice view from the sink. But yeah, we decided to put in a
double French door, which again was repurposed from a different place.
To make a nice little, small but light study. So with all of us working from home now, much more, it just makes sense to have this kind of room, but also it's my old study, what I was using was the back bedroom. By putting this room on the back, where it allows us to have that back as a spare room, as a bedroom, and also a nice space for me to work, taking that view.
And also still being part of the family, actually, and not
yeah.
locked away somewhere.
Until I close the doors. Yeah. But the doors again were something that Lex was able to fit for us. This wasn't originally what we planned, but he was really flexible and shared the vision. As soon as we said, we're thinking of doing this, his enthusiasm and his can-do attitude just went through, and it makes us feel confident that it's not just going to happen, it's going to happen nicely, and the finish is going to be good, etc. It's going to work.
Yeah, it is the quality, isn't it? It wasn't just a slapdash sort of throw it in. Even I was saying, actually, just put it in there, and he would centralise everything. He's like, oh, you've got to think how it's going to open up and how you want it central to this pillar. Things that I'd never even considered, but he was very particular about.
He retains that enthusiasm, so the enthusiasm I spoke when he first came and he saw the designs and said this is going to be great. He came back recently after finishing 90-95% of the work, saw the kitchen for the first time and said this is brilliant, this is amazing. He has a clear passion and enthusiasm for his work.
Yeah, true. Should we go upstairs?
I think so.
It was important for us to have a lot of space. I know people would think that it's probably a waste of space to have it in the entranceway or in the hallway or upstairs, but he's a tall guy and my daughter is going to be a tall girl as well, and I think actually it feels, although it's not usable space, the landing actually was quite important for us. So we borrowed a bit of space from one of the double bedrooms to open out the landing a bit more, and again it just gives you that breathing space before you enter a room to think about what it is you've come up for.
And stop me from hitting my head on the cupboard that used to be there.
There was a cupboard underneath.
So this was my old office. This is the spare room, and this is now going to be, we're going to be able to have guests again and use it that way without having the clutter of my work. Where do you want to go next?
Shall we go into the master? Because although it is kind of a wow room, the kids' rooms are a bit further along.
Yeah, so it's still work in progress in terms of where we're storing furniture and doors.
But
yeah.
If you come through, we've got these, what would have been where the French doors would have gone, but the sizing didn't work out. So we ended up reordering some different doors, which gives us access outside, but only enough to score up, so of an emergency exit. Allows us
It's going to allow the cat somewhere to go and enjoy.
But we won't be going out there.
Yeah, really large window to let all of that lovely morning sun through, and but it can seal pane so that when we get dressed in the walk-in wardrobe, we're not accidentally revealing ourselves to neighbours.
So we do have, walk-in wardrobe space, which will eventually have sort of built-in wardrobes with lights and things. Depends on how his carpentry work is. Leading into an ensuite. So perfectly fine for me and you.
Yeah, really nice space. But something again Lex helped us with. Sadly, the original roof was constructed in a way that you couldn't remove the timbers, but we were really keen on the idea of having high ceilings on the new part of the house. It wasn't a problem for CLX to have full height to the new roof, and actually but just enclosing the old part of the house, which was unintentional at the time, but it actually gives it a bit more of a cosy feel in the bedroom, but a bit more height and space and light and air. Light and airy feel for this new part.
I do like that they were adaptable in terms of being able to just work with a plan, and there's always changes to be made, but it wasn't ever you can't do that. It was always let's try and make it work, and they were so available to us, offering a new idea or something. We were careful not to go too far out off the remit, but actually when things like this happen, these are happy accidents that we've got now a vaulted ceiling, they were quite happy to incorporate it. Very little done in the bathroom yet. That is definitely the work in progress, but the original bathroom again had a lovely feature where the toilet was facing the top of the stairs, so often you'd get children coming in and out and up and down the stairs. So we've moved it so that it's tucked in the corner a little bit more. We opened out into the extension there, so we've got a walk-in shower area, so that will be really nice to sort of close it all off and give us just bags more space in here for a bath. Hopefully that will happen soon. Okay.
And then 2 children's bedrooms. So this is our daughter's room. She has advised on the decoration, the colour scheme. Yeah, she wanted an all black.
But also she would benefit from just sensory, just being able to find somewhere nice and cosy to sit in. The rest of the house is so open and light and airy that actually to have something that she describes as cave-like actually works quite well for her.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. You can tell all of the corners that she did.
So typical boys' room.
Originally we had a large crack coming through from where, after they removed the fireplace, the original owners of the house removed the fireplace and replastered. The new plaster didn't really take, so again it's a room which had Naya's care and attention, just beautifully plastered and finished.
Thank you for watching, and we just want to say a big thank you not only to the architect Pritpal for coming up with a beautiful vision, but to CLX for actually seeing that vision to fruition and bringing us to what is going to be a beautiful family home.